Dirty laundry. Let's get on me. Oh yeah, it's so fucking filthy. Oh God, what are you doing, Alex? What are you doing? This is my closet. Don't come in here unless your name's Johnny. What's up, everyone? John from Beyond ARTV.
And I'm Infinity on Hannah.
Today we're going to be talking about and reviewing the new All-Time Low single that just came out. It's called Dirty Laundry. And it came with a pretty big announcement. That's right, All-Time Low have jumped ship from Hopeless Records to
Fueled by Ramen. This was actually a huge shock to me.
Yeah,
like, what?
I really wasn't expecting them to go there, and honestly, we'll talk about it a little bit more as the video goes on, but Fueled by Ramen really seemed to be grabbing up all of these bands.
So many bands lately, I feel like. They just signed a couple.
They've got a pretty big monopoly going on right now on these bands with rabid fan bases.
Oh God.
So Fueled by Ramen is probably doing quite well money-wise. No wonder they're able to sign the likes of All Time Low, Paramore, 21 Pilots, Panic at the Disco, and the list goes on. And they just signed Swimmers and Basement as well. So they're having themselves a pretty good roster, but at the same time, I'm a little bit concerned because whenever bands seem to move to Fueled by Ramen, do you sometimes notice that they kind of shift their sound?
Yep.
To a little bit more of a poppy
We've
direction.
Already noticed that with this song, first of all.
It's honestly pretty unavoidable to kind of talk about the elephant in the room, and that is the fact that this All-Time Low song, while nothing that we haven't seen from them before, I don't think it's very strong as a single.
No, especially for the first single, like this is just not, like you said, it's not strong enough. I don't think the chorus is big enough, and it's kind of boring. Until like the end of the song.
Right, it kind of comes to life. It comes to life right at the end of the track, which I understand whenever songs want to come to life. You know, like sometimes they'll have a small first verse, and then whenever the second one it starts to grow.
They waited too long, I feel like, to do that. And I feel like the song would have been much better if like the whole thing, or most of it, was more like the ending part with the guitars. We were both sitting there the first listen, like, where are these instruments? Like, even the drums sound like so produced. And, like, just not real.
I was about to say, they're manufactured drums for the most part, and then finally at the end, they actually come in. Zach
but it
comes
still
in
isn't even that strong, though, then.
Well, it's one of those things that I feel like All Time Low are trying to go for this certain sound, but at the same time, I don't really know if they're pulling it off all that well. It's like, okay, they've done it on songs like Too Much and Edge of Tonight on Future Hearts.
Yeah, those are exactly the first two songs that I came to my mind when I heard this one.
And that's not exactly, those are two of my least favorite All Time Low tracks.
They're experimental, but like, they're not memorable.
Right. Especially with Too Much, there was too much emphasis on like the auto-tune on the vocals, and not saying that that's the case here, it's just that it's a very kind of dry, airy beat that's going on throughout the first part. And
his vocal parts, like where he's like that ooh 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 or whatever part, like I just can't imagine that live. Like I feel like it would be so boring until the very end of the song. Like people are gonna be sitting there like well, you know?
That's the thing, whenever I see bands change their sound like that sometimes, it's just, you'll go see that band play that song in a live setting and people just kinda stand there and it's just like ooh 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 ooh.
Like that's just not gonna work.
I don't think that's gonna sound very good in a live setting.
That's why I thought that like this would, it just sounds like, like you said, a deep cut. We were talking before, like it just doesn't seem like a single type song.
Right. So we don't know that there's an album. Maybe this is just, maybe it's a one-off single. Who knows?
It could be just like they did back with with Pierce the Veil or whatever.
Right. So A Love Like War, yeah. And that was promoting a deluxe edition. Maybe there's a deluxe edition of Future Hearts.
That's what I was wondering, because like the Spades thing, I'm not sure the significance of that. They really haven't announced anything else, I don't think.
That is one other thing I want to note about the whole Fueled by Ramen thing. Stop releasing deluxe editions of albums after you sign bands.
That's like what they keep doing. They did that with Swimmers, Basement.
Yeah, Basement's re-recorded songs sounded so like, processed.
It's just I really hope Basement doesn't go in that direction because I love their raw sound. But this is what this is about.
Yeah, exactly.
Fueled by Ramen though, like they just tend to, I don't know.
It's like they really want to commercialize everything.
I know, it's so weird. Like,
and I feel like some bands they leave alone just because they're so big and they've been signed to them for so long, like Paramore, Panic. And,
yeah, well, they've been on it for like years and years, but people that just signed to it, I feel like they kind of change pace.
It's like, here's what we want you to do, this is what we're looking for with our sound, and bands like Basement. Swimmers definitely have poppy aspects to them, but getting back on track with the whole All Time Low thing, I don't think this is a very strong single, whatever it is exactly. It's got parts to it that I like. But
yeah, but it's just not big enough, I think, for especially the first single. And also, can we talk about like the name of the song and the chorus here, like Dirty Laundry?
I understand the metaphor. We both get the metaphor before anybody's sitting here thinking, well, oh, they're not talking about dirty laundry. No shit, Sherlock.
The point is that it just sounds kind of weird to sing.
Right.
It's like, I mean, when you first like hear it, it's like, what?
Okay, so let's talk about exactly what they're meaning by that. We get it.
Like
they're
baggage,
talking about, yeah,
like,
exactly. The demons of your past, or else the mistakes that you made in the past. I get it. But singing dirty laundry, I just can't. Yeah, dirty laundry. Oh, I'm airing it out. You know?
It just doesn't sound good. And I think I mentioned this to you that like it would be like I feel like it would be more like just like a one-off lyric in a song, like maybe, but not like a full like chorus for that with that reference. Like it doesn't work really for me.
It's just like, what if they said in their song "Irony of Choking on a Lifesaver"? What if they sang about that the whole song? Like, what if that was the chorus? Like, just like talking about lifesavers or something like that. It just sounds a little bit clunky and awkward to me.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree that I think it does stand out. I've seen people saying, well, this is just it catches your attention. It stands out with the title and everything like that. Sure, but at the same time, didn't Nickelback have a song called "Dirty Laundry" that came out like a year ago?
God.
Yeah, I don't know. The last good song that I heard about laundry was "Folding Clothes" by J. Cole. So, anyways, guys, I think to break down my overall thoughts on this real quick, just to give you a concise view of what I think about the track, and then we'll get Hannah's perspective on it. "Dirty Laundry" is a track that starts off subdued. It works in some light kind of indie-leaning guitars, and they're just kind of, they're minimal, they're a little bit boring, honestly. It reminds me of stuff like maybe like the XX or something, honestly. Not calling them boring, but it's just like they have their thing, and then All Time Low has their normal thing. Like Hannah was saying, it takes a long time to build up, and when we finally get there, it's just like, I've almost lost interest at that point.
I already would have clicked off, like, you know.
And whenever it does kick in, it sounds good, and I like that Alex gets a little bit more aggressive, Jack gets a little bit more showtime on the guitar, but it's nothing like blowing me away or anything like that. It's just like, okay, this is All Time Low at the very end of the track. And still, like we were talking about there, the metaphor, I like it. I like that he's saying, like, leave it behind. That's a good message, like, leave the stuff in the past. It's clever, most of what he's talking about. I think the lyrics are probably the best thing about the song, asterisk, because the title, Dirty Laundry, I don't know. I get it. It grabs the attention.
It's a little too easy, though.
It's a little too easy. Yeah, I'll say that. So overall for me, I'm going to have to go with like 2.5 out of 5, maybe a 3 at best. It's grown on me a little bit, but just in like paying attention to the lyrics, I think that's helped some. But what do you think?
Yeah, I genuinely, like you said, the end of the song is what really captures my attention. If the full song was like that, because like, I think it was like 5 minutes almost. Like,
right, with the full music video and everything.
Like, if they would have just kicked that in with like the first chorus or even the second one, like, so it wasn't such a slow build up. Like, it's a slow build up, but not in a good way. I feel like with some music it like works, but with this song, like for All Time Low, I expect like, you know, more like bang, like
a little bit more
rock. Like Alex doesn't even play the guitar in this song. Like he usually the full band is like playing their instruments, and it's just more pop punk leaning, which is what we were both hoping for.
Right.
For new music.
But we were both, I think this kind of captures it. I said last night before the track came out, somebody asked me, like, what do you think? All Time Low, they got a great new song on the way. Do they have a good one in them, or do you think it's going to be something bad? And I said, I'm really scared it's going to suck, and I'm really scared that it's going to be very poppy. We've talked about multiple times.
I literally texted you the other day. I was like, why do I feel like I'm not going to like it? I feel like it's not going to be good. You know? And not that it's not good, it's just not good
They set
enough.
the bar so high for themselves.
Right, especially with Don't Panic. Like,
and yeah, and even parts, I mean, Future Hearts I still really liked as an album. I gave the album a 4 out of 5, if that says anything. The album. Like, it's a good album. I just would hope that they kind of went back a little bit more like a Heart, but it feels like they're going in the other direct, like more further into the Future Hearts, like more pop. Right, and I feel
less
like
instruments.
I thought at first whenever they signed to a different label back in the day with Dirty Work, not that that is an awful album. I said that. I've got an upcoming video this Sunday about underrated all-time low tracks. As I said there, and I'll reiterate now, I don't think that Dirty Work is a bad album per se. I just think that it had a lot of misfires on it just because they were pushed in certain directions. And I thought that they had kind of learned their lesson from that with Don't Panic and even most of Future Hearts. And I'm not saying that whatever they put out in the future is going to be bad. I just think that I'm a little bit worried, but hey, this is just one song. I don't think the lyrics are a step back necessarily.
Right.
I think they're still coming up with clever stuff. So here's to the future. I hope that they will do something cool. I'm a big fan of these guys. I've reviewed all of their albums except for the Party Scene. So if you would like to see that, there's gonna be an annotation on screen right here at the end. What do you think for a track rating on this though?
Well, how many times have you listened to it?
Like 6 or 7 times.
It takes me a long time to for stuff to grow on me, so I'm not really sure. Maybe a 2.5 right now. 2.
Yeah.
First listen, maybe like a 2, but
yeah,
2.5. I don't know. Maybe I'll like it later, but still, I feel like the beginning is just too boring for me.
I kind of feel like it reiterates my thoughts on the little song that they put out last fall. I just didn't care about it, and I haven't come back to it since then. I don't even remember the name of that song. That's how disconnected I am from that.
Yeah,
but anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you check out Hannah's channel. It's going to be linked in the description. And Hannah, please don't kick the camera anymore.
Sorry. Try not to spit on this chair. It keeps turning that way.
Discography reviews for All Time Low right here. Another track review for Linkin Park's Heavy right here that came out yesterday. Other than that, we'll see you very soon right here on Beyond ARTV.